If you've been waiting to give Dolores Umbridge her comeuppance, now's your chance! In Harry Potter Magic Awakened, she becomes one of the newest companions available to institute her educational decrees. Let's find out how this companion works in this video. When you summon Umbridge, you'll be happy to know that she doesn't become your ally. She becomes your opponent's ally. I know it can be very tempting to destroy her as soon as she comes out, but there are a couple of things that she can do. You can position her anywhere on the field, even on your opponent's side. Once she's summoned, she'll focus on the nearest enemy player and slowly walk towards them. She walks quite slowly though, but when she gets close, if they cast a spell or summon a creature, Umbridge will interrupt it. And Umbridge doesn't like students casting spells, so she'll issue an educational decree and deal damage to your opponent. The educational decree damage has a short cooldown, but she'll keep interrupting casts even if she can't issue another decree yet. So which echo can you use Umbridge with? Honestly, she can work with pretty much any echo. She could work with Neville since you're very likely going to be the target when your opponent tries to get you out of your Neville fortress. She can also work with the Bellatrix echo since Bellatrix works best when you're damaging opposing players directly. Hopefully your damaging spells don't hit Umbridge so she can keep issuing educational decrees. Harry, Hermione, and McGonagall could also work since you mostly use targeted spells with them. Although there's really no guarantee that you won't accidentally hit Umbridge. For cards, you'll want ones that directly target your opponent. Avis and Crystal Ball are great options since they directly target your opponent. However, since Avis is an AoE spell, it might hit and defeat Umbridge. If you're a summoner, Peeves and Demiguise are good choices since they will also target your opponent directly. This gives Umbridge a better chance of surviving long enough to cast her educational decrees. For other types of summons, you can help them target your opponents instead of Umbridge by using cards like Carpe Retractum, Flipendo, and Flu Network. Although Nightbus can also work, its AoE damage might hit Umbridge. For spell users, you can use cards like Pranktastic Present, Incarcerus, Inflatus, and Petrificus Totalis. You can prevent your opponents from moving around so they don't avoid your spells. This also keeps them in place, so Umbridge doesn't have to move around as much and risk getting hit by your spells. Umbridge is honestly a very niche card to use. If your opponent is using a Dobby or Cedric Echo, it's going to be hard to get much value out of Umbridge since they can easily outrun her. The same goes if they have Baby Manticore since they'll be moving around a lot. One thing Umbridge can reliably do is force opponents to move away from her. They won't be able to cast spells or summons with Umbridge on their heels, so you can use her to burn through some of their movement cards. Although, if they move far enough away, it will take Umbridge a while to catch up to them. For more advanced play, you might be able to counter an incoming Avada Kedavra with Umbridge. However, this will be hard to time because it takes a second for Umbridge to actually spawn. This is a very niche use, and it only works if you summon her in the right location at the right time. And in terms of summon order, Umbridge might work better as your first companion if you want to force your opponents to spend some movement early, but if you use her as your last companion, your opponent may have fewer movement cards left to avoid her. This is also when they might have high damage spells queued up, especially in something like a Dumbledore deck, which could make her interruption quite useful. However, you'll have to weigh that against using a damage companion who can help you defeat your opponents faster, rather than using a defensive companion to counter incoming attacks. Honestly, at the moment, there are much better companions to choose from than Umbridge. She's too slow to be reliable when countering your opponent's casts, and her interruption range is very small. She would be much better if she walked faster or had a larger area of effect. And although it is satisfying to hit her with spells,
We're all going to be very good friends. Detention, Miss Very Good Friend.
she might not be the best use of a companion slot. So for now, maybe only in highly specific situations. And until next time, fellow mages, see you in the wizarding world.